Is it just me, or does anybody else want to quit too? Hey you guys, welcome back to Around the Way Gardeners. My name is Latanya and I'm so happy to have you joining us today. If you are new here and you like this video and you got something out of it, don't forget to subscribe and give us a thumbs up. And if you're a return subscriber, thank you so much for coming back. We appreciate your support. Oh my goodness guys, my heart is so heavy today. The worst thing that can happen to your squash vines in the garden has happened here. I'm gonna give you one moment to see if you can figure it out. If you guess squash vine borers, you are correct. I am heartbroken. Just last week, I was so happy and excited about these wonderful pumpkins, imagining what the fall garden would look like with sunflowers and hay, and to come out here and find that they had been plagued. Yes, I'm going to use the word plagued with squash vine borers. Even the small seedling that I had planted just in case, they also attacked that, guys. So 4 plants, all were infested, 2 were totally unsavable, and I attempted to save 2 vines by doing a little bit of surgery on them. Thank God I had watched a video the day before, and ironically I came out the next morning to check and inspect my vine, only to find that yes, we had also been victims to the squash vine borers. You know, when I think about it, it could have been the reason why the zucchini and the squash didn't last. I didn't think to inspect those plants because for some reason I thought of the squash vine borers for people that are in the South and we're in New England, but we are in North America. I guess we're all susceptible to these type of pests. So we still have fruit here, and again, like I said, I attempted to go in and salvage these things, and that was yesterday, and so today they do seem to still be alive. I don't know how long they will last, or if I did in fact have the solution and it will keep these pumpkins thriving, but I'm just going to show you exactly what I did. And if you hang out me to the end, I'll tell you a few things that I've learned to prevent this from happening next year. Also, a few things that I've decided to do to prevent the cucumber beetles, because they are also a nuisance in the garden. So I'm going to shut up now and get into the video. The moment I got out here, I noticed that there was a problem. I could see clearly that there was the yellow, like pus-like stuff on the vine, which is what you want to look for to see if you have been infested. I already had my nail clipping scissors from the nail clipping set, and I made a small insert here, very small insert, and that was enough for me to be able to take these tweezers and pull this little gross thing out of here. It is so gross, you guys. It is a part of nature, but it is definitely not the fun part. It's really gross. After doing that, I noticed that there were multiple points of damage here, and I just had to pull this vine out. I didn't think that it was worth just going in and causing this vine even more stress trying to pull all of them out. So I just ripped this vine out, and you see here it was down at the bottom, and here's where I made the insert, and also here toward the top of the vine. So this was one that we just couldn't save. And it just, very sad. But there weren't any fruit here, so I was at least happy that this wasn't one of the ones with the fruit. Now, this vine did have some fruit at the top that was trying to come in. So I basically did the same thing here. I made that insert and I pulled out a small borer. As you can see, right here, this is where I made the insert. After inspecting it, I noticed that there was another insert further up at the top, and there wasn't actually a baby in it. So I just made an insert and kind of like scraped it out. It looks like it was a very small insert, so it looks like it actually just went in. And then I don't know if you could see that here. It's very small. So then once I made those inserts, I just put some gauze bandage on the same way we would do to heal our own wounds. And I hope that this helps the plant to recover from the infestation as well as, me damaging the plant. And I also noticed that we're experiencing some powdery mildew, which is another problem. I went through to kind of inspect the plant for eggs, and I did find a few. Here is one and what it looks like, just like I don't know, like a red or brown dot. It could be very hard to see, so I used my phone to kind of magnify it. This is that small seedling I mentioned earlier, and it just really damaged this in quite a few places. I believe that first vine that I took out probably was the first instance, and if I would have noticed it sooner, I might been able to prevent the damage from the rest of these vines. This one seemed to be the one that wasn't infested, and I did get that little egg off of this. So to help prevent them from laying any more eggs on the root of this vine, I covered it with dirt, and I don't know how effective this is going to be because with the other vines and even with this one, you could see that they were laying their eggs even further up, but I thought it was worth the try. So maybe if I bury this vine, it may like have a stronger root system because it's covered in dirt, and maybe even if it is affected, I might give it a better chance to continue to produce fruit even due to some damage. So we'll see. This is one of the things that people do to prevent the squash vine borers. They also cover it in aluminum for you. I've seen someone do that, and I wish I would have probably done that in the very beginning as a preventative measure, but here we are. So this is what the pumpkin plants look like on day 3. There is a flower open here. It doesn't look too damaged. I think that only time will tell. So look for community posts because I will keep you guys posted throughout the week just to see if these guys are still thriving or basically barely surviving. The little bandages. Here's another look at the vine that I pulled out so you could really see what to look for. One of the things I really love about YouTube, and one of the reasons why I decided to film my gardening journey, is for issues like this. Because had I not watched that video the day before, I would not have actually thought that this could be my issue, and I wouldn't have known exactly what to look for. So shout out to all the YouTubers that is providing information for us to be successful on our garden journeys, and I hope that this video helps you be more successful and know what to look for as far as pests are concerned. If there were any time to give up gardening, now would definitely be the time, especially considering the infestation of slugs early in the season that fell with the zucchini and the squash, the cucumber beetles, and now the squash vine borers. Luckily, I'm not a quitter. I do not give up, and I hope that you don't give up either. One thing that I have learned about gardening is you have to learn. You have to learn from your mistakes. It is nature, it is out of your control. You can plant a seed, but you got to kind of do everything you need to get the fruit to grow, get those flowers to bloom. And what better way than to learn from your mistakes? So, one of the things that I learned when it comes to avoiding cucumber beetles is the type of variety that you plant. Variety is everything. I guess that's why there's so many different varieties, that they are better for some climates. And in this climate or climates that are susceptible to cucumber beetles, burpless beetle burpless cucumbers are less likely to get cucumber beetles. I do not know why, but I do know that last year I grew burpless cucumbers. I grew them close together right alongside my zucchini, and I didn't have one cucumber beetle. And I grew more cucumbers than I knew what to do with. That's mainly why this year I was so happy and excited about pickling cucumbers. So I got a variety that was better to pickle. Unfortunately, it was more susceptible to cucumber beetle infestation. And that infestation actually started in the greenhouse. I had put the greenhouse outside, and when I was growing my seedlings, I did notice that there was a few cucumber beetles in the greenhouse. I thought, oh, okay, let me pull these out and things like that. But that was one of my biggest problems. Now, when it comes to squash, there are different types. And according to all of the research and the rabbit hole that I went down, the Cucurbita machata is the best type if your garden is plagued by the squash vine borg or squash bugs. Because the vines are thin and tough, it is less likely for those pests to get in, and so you may not suffer from them. Also, I believe that they're less likely to suffer from powdery mildew. So choosing the Cucurbita machata may just be the best for you. There are multiple different types of varieties. I will link a few below that I'm going to choose for next year. So hopefully we'll get an abundance of squash and pumpkin next year. So growing the right variety from the start. So just preventing the pest altogether is definitely one of the best things to do and know. I've learned that to be successful in a garden, you have to do as much research ahead of time. You have to pick a variety that is best for your environment. You also have to consistently observe your garden. I find that early in the morning is the best time to find these little pest problems. The bees are not the only things lurking out here. If you fail this season, try again next season. Learn from your mistakes, educate yourself, use preventative measures, and most importantly, to never quit. If you quit, you won't learn. If you quit, you won't have the ability to consistently observe your garden and learn what works for your environment. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something. And despite our pest issues, I hope that you're still encouraged to get out and grow something. Get a pot, get some dirt, plant some seeds, and try your hand at it. And if you don't want to grow anything this season, just get outdoors and enjoy everything that God has created. As you can see, we have some tomatoes here that are ready to be picked. I'm going to pick these tomatoes and make myself a great salad. You have a wonderful week. God bless and happy growing.